The Arca Menards Series back in the Hoosier State. For the second time this year, we visit Salem Speedway. This time for the Arca Fall Classic 200, round 10 of the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge. And it is a beautiful day today in southern Indiana. Very hot right now, but at the end of this race, it will be nighttime. Cooler temperatures, but plenty of red-hot action on the racetrack. Hello, everybody. I am Bob Dillner. Alongside him is Jim Trado. As we mentioned, second time at Salem Speedway this year. So how does that change the complexion of this race compared to the spring?
We have hot sun. We don't run 200 laps. In the spring, we had rain throughout the day. We were wondering how many laps could we get in. That changed the strategy for a lot of those part-time teams that are back here today. They think they have something to prove. They think they had a fast car, but Michael Self ended up winning the rain-shortened race here in the springtime. I think it's going to be a completely different complexion today because we know we're going to go 200 laps, and how to use those tires, it's going to be paramount.
So many different things to talk about heading into this race. Let's take a look at some of the storylines. The championship fight for the overall Arca Menards Series title, very close right now. Up and down for both of these drivers, Christian Eckes and Michael Self. Only 70 points separate the teammates for Venturini Motorsports. And also for Venturini Motorsports, Chandler Smith returns. He hasn't been with this series for a little over a month, but now the winner 4 times already this year is always good at Salem, and he's looking for win number 2 on the high banks here in Indiana. And speaking of Venturini, they are just flat out dominant at this racetrack. 9 total wins for that team. Billy Venturini, Dad Bill, they have always been strong here in this part of the country and specifically on the high banks of Salem Speedway. And of course, this is a special weekend for Arca, a throwback weekend. We will see special paint schemes from a lot of the different competitors here tonight at Salem Speedway. That leads us into the General Tire Championship standings for the Arca Menards Series. Michael Self, Christian Eckes, 1-2 in the standings, but is it a 2-horse race?
Eckes chipped off 35 points just 1 race ago. If he does that 2 more times, if he ties Michael Self, it has to go to a tiebreaker. So if he knocks off half of those points today, man, are we in for a dogfight at Lucas Oil Raceway in a couple weeks.
Hey, Eckes missed this race in the springtime because he was ill, actually had food poisoning, but it's been an up and down year. Yes, he does have 3 victories, but Christian Eckes has had some troubles as well. That missed race at Salem, trouble at Talladega, plenty of disasters for that Venturini Motorsports number 15.
They overcome these challenges, but unfortunately it's cost them, and when it comes to race wins and racing for victories, they've had mechanical issues, and this unfortunate incident at Elko Speedway cost them a bunch of spots on the racetrack.
Christian Eckes, one to keep an eye on. Let's meet up with a third member of our broadcast team, Alex Hayden, who spoke to Christian Eckes earlier.
Starting in the 6th spot tonight, Christian Eckes. And, well, Christian, there's a championship to be won. You got a bit of a points deficit to try to climb out of, but this track is tough. It's got a lot of history behind it. How is this track in your favor, though?
Yeah, it's honestly not one of my favorites, but, it's always cool to come here with all the history. And, there's so many winners, and, I'm lucky to be a part of them. And hopefully I'm on that list twice tonight. But, I think we got a pretty fast JBL Camry, and, it's super cool to have a throwback here for Bill Venturini. And especially you got all these cool hats and everything. And, hopefully we can get a win for him and kind of jumpstart our championship hunts a little bit more.
It's been a long weekend already. Had a fantastic run in the Gander Outdoors Truck Series for NASCAR out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway with a top 5 finish there. But you got to fly all night. Come over here to Indiana now to go racing mentally with that championship. How important is it to get as good a finish and potentially that second win here?
Yeah, it's huge. It's kind of crunch time now. We got 3 races left and 70 points. So I think the max you can make up is 30 points if you win. We didn't get the pole, so I guess it's 25. But, we just got to do what we can do here. And like I said, I think we got a pretty fast car. We just got to kind of maintain here and, see what we have and hopefully be there at the end.
It's all about strategy tonight and saving those General tires. They're going to play a big role. Christian Eckes qualified 6th.
Well, I think the math is a little bit different for Christian Eckes. 70 points behind, 3 races to go. Does he have a shot at the title?
Absolutely does. 2 more races to go. He's really good at Lucas Oil Raceway. Michael Self's really good at Kansas Speedway. They both have a win here in the last 3 races at Salem Speedway. So I think the evenness, one team has to, I think, make a big move. A big challenge. It could be a pit stop at the right time. I think one team has to make a bold move, and this points championship is wide open.
This is a critical race tonight for Christian Eckes, who is hoping to become the champion. But he's got to battle his teammate at Venturini Motorsports, Michael Self. Those two have been the class of the field in terms of full-time competitors this year on the Arca Menards Series. More to come from Salem Speedway when we return on MAV TV.
Introducing the Hometown Collection by Fanatics. Wrap your team in city with this collection of locally inspired graphics designed for the fan. Available at Fanatics.com. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
National Parts Depot stocks over 135,000 parts for Mustang, Cougar, Camaro and Firebird, Chevelle and GTO, Ford and Chevy truck, Bronco and Thunderbird. Our 98% order fill rate gets you the parts you need right now, delivered fast from one of our 4 warehouses nationwide. Nobody beats MPD's quality, speed, and service. For your free catalog, call 800-874-7595 or visit us at mpdlink.com.
Remember how parking used to be? The slow roll around, hoping somebody pulls out. Oh. Oh, come on. Then you finally find the spot. But you need a shoehorn to get out. Well, that was then. You don't use your grandpa's phone. So why do you still park like it's 1999? I don't. I auto park. It's time to upgrade your parking. Go to autoparkit.com to see how.
Cover it up. That's what I did when I started losing my hair. Then I realized I could actually do something. Now I use Keeps, the easiest way to keep my hair. And it only costs $1 a day, which means no more covering up. Get started at Keeps.com.
America's ability to feed our citizens is in jeopardy, and some of our most basic freedoms are being threatened. Extremists and lobbyists with their own agendas are trying to strip away the fabric of American liberties. Freedoms like fishing, hunting, and even owning a pet are targets of these extremists. Protect the Harvest can help safeguard our American way of life. It's time to wake up, educate ourselves, and protect our freedoms before they're taken away. You can learn more at protecttheharvest.com.
Looking for a way to boost your sales without breaking the bank? Look no further. MAV TV is your one-stop shop. From commercial production to airtime, we'll custom tailor a package to fit any budget. Our viewers are loyal. They support businesses that support their favorite channel. Email advertising at mavtv.com to learn more. MAV TV, high-octane advertising at a price you can afford.
The CGS Imaging 4 Crown Series is a series within a series here in Arca. It all kicked off at Talladega. Todd Gilliland with the win. But this is a 4-race series featuring 4 different disciplines of racetracks.
Talladega, Todd Gilliland went to victory lane there. Michael Self dominated at Michigan. And who'da thunk, leading second half of the race, Michael Self would also win on the designated dirt track, the Dirt Mile at Springfield, Illinois. He went to victory lane there.
The final race is tonight here at Salem Speedway. And Michael Self also holds the lead in this series.
Yeah, 5 points, race points only for this CGS Imaging 4 Crown. 35 points, that's 7 positions on the racetrack. Travis Braden still has a shot at this. So does Joe Graff. They're tied for third after those first 3 races in these rounds.
And Brett Holmes is always good here at Salem Speedway. The point leader in this series is Michael Self. Alex Hayden standing by with him.
Qualifying 4th, Michael Self. Good track position to start tonight's 200-lap race, but more importantly, there's a championship to be won and just a handful of races to go. How does the mindset come into play now, given the fact that you've got a slim points lead?
It's just another race, you know. I mean, our goal is the same, to come in here and to put a good day together for the Sinclair Oil team and people at Sinclair Oil. And if we do that, then the points work themselves out. You know, we're lucky to be racing Christian. Christian's a good guy to race against. It's fun to race against. Obviously, they've been on a hot streak lately, you know, so that's in the back of your mind. But, you know, we've got a good team around us. We got a good team and a fun group of guys to work with, and that's what's important, man. You just can't let yourself get too stressed over this.
How do you do that then? How do you not get too stressed over a potential championship?
This is still just a huge opportunity for me to be here in the first place. You know, I remind myself every day there was a time when I wasn't able to race, and St. Clair stepped up and gave me the opportunity to do that. And so it's easy to get caught up, I think, in the mindset of, man, you don't want to blow it, and you don't want to mess something up for the championship. But I also have to remind myself that I didn't always have the chance to be here in the first place. So it's cool to get a chance to do this, to come out here to Salem. Fun racetrack. Glad we get to come here twice a year and come race in the Arca Menards series. Hopefully it's a fun race tonight. We can make the most out of it.
Humble without a helmet on. Put the helmet on, get him a steering wheel in his hands. He turns into that dinosaur. That's Michael Self. He's ready to go. Starts fourth tonight.
Michael Self could be a champion here tonight. The CGS Imaging 4 crown. It's something special here as part of the history of Arca.
It's been here since 1984, and it's really something that's really highlighting the diversity we have in the 20 races we run each and every year here in this series.
The final race of that series tonight decided here at Salem Speedway. This one's going to get kick-started in just a second.
After a tough day at the track, cleaning up can be a time-consuming task. That's why we use Extreme Cleaner, the non-toxic, biodegradable, multi-purpose cleaner and degreaser. Extreme Cleaner cuts through even the toughest of grease and grime. Fast. Great for cleaning tools and work surfaces. Extreme Cleaner. Tough on grime, safe on the environment. Available at Hardware Hank.
For more than half a century, Sioux Chief has been the name to know for quality American-made rough plumbing products. It's the choice of contractors with stylish and innovative shower drains, bracketing systems, and a full line of supply fittings. Sioux Chief expansion grip systems provide solid connections. Protect your ice maker, dishwasher, toilet, or washing machine from harmful water hammer by installing a Sioux Chief mini rester that's guaranteed for the lifetime of your home's plumbing. Sioux Chief is your plumbing solution. Available at your nearest Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Rated T for teen.
Looking for an easier way to shop for your pets? With Chewy, you can get everything your pets need delivered right to your door. Delivered? Food, litter, even prescriptions. Oh, wow. And you never have to worry about running out. Oh, no. With Chewy's auto ship service, you can set repeat deliveries based on your schedule. Sounds so easy. So make the switch to Chewy and get everything your pets need delivered at a great price. Save 30% on your first order at Chewy.
This is one of my favorite races of the year. Throwback race here at Salem Speedway for the Arca Menards Series.
We've got some Team Venturini representation. We also have a representation from Bruce Vanderlaan's paint scheme. He just passed away, so Mike Bursley, the crew chief there, said we got to do something for Bruce. And this is awesome. This is really cool to have these looks come back to the garage. Big Bill in 1987. Check that out, paint job on.
DW gets into the mix as well. That is a classic Western Autochrome car. Ed Pompa. And guess what? By virtue of a fan vote, Andy Hillenberg, Ed Pompa, they win the best appearing car here tonight on the throwback race.
The Jack Harrison Trophy. We've been here 105 times. Jack Harrison won the very first race here, so let's throw it back to the first winner at Salem and Arca. The Jack Harrison Trophy goes to Ed Pompa and the Andy Hillenberg team.
Great shot here from the Lucas Oil Chopper high above Salem Speedway. A golf course on the backstretch, an airport right next door, and a great crowd on hand here tonight.
I love the idea that we're back here at Salem. The second time here, Bob, I think it's going to be one great show.
21 drivers in tonight's starting lineup. We are just moments away from the green flag for 200 laps around this racetrack. But first, let's hear the most famous words in racing. Let's go downstairs, trackside, with the command.
And now, race fans, here to give the command to start engines for the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers Fall Classic 200, Henryville, Indiana's own Daryl Basham.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
How appropriate was that? Daryl Basham, longtime Arca competitor, with the command here today, and I love what his T-shirt said, the Grander Marshal.
You know, in spring, he was suiting up to race in this race. He finished 13th in the spring. Daryl's not done yet. It's a great way to honor our tradition here, that Southern Indiana driver.
322 starts for Daryl Basham here in the Arca Menards Series. And there's the best appearing car for Ed Pampa in that number 11. A lot of cool throwback schemes. The Lucas Oil Chopper high above Salem Speedway. Green flag is next.
We saved a lot of money when we got our kitchen from Menards, but we also like to save on the everyday essentials. Menards has all the brand names we rely on at the lowest prices. There's always a new project, always a new reason for a trip to Menards. Now it's where we go for everything, from paint to paper towels.
Save big on a 6-pack of Bounty Huge Rolls, available at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
When it's time for a new water heater in your home, trust the water heater experts at Richmond. Richmond is an industry-leading manufacturer of water heaters that are reliable and efficient. Choose from high-quality natural gas and LP models, electric and electric hybrid heat pump water heaters, or whole house tankless models that give you a continuous supply of hot water. You'll find a great selection of Richmond water heaters to meet your needs at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
From the track to the street, from your car to your fleet. Technology designed for you to get the most out of your vehicle by lowering harmful vehicle emissions and increasing engine efficiency. The Smart Emissions Reducer, field tested, lab approved, saving you money. The environment, keeping you on the move. Smart Emissions Reducer. Go green with the same machine.
You can't fake greatness. Not on the track and not in the chip aisle. Like a seasoned driver behind the wheel, Hers chips take you from caution flag levels of hunger to checkered flag feelings of satisfaction. When it comes to race day snacks, the signature crunch and endless flavors of Hers leaves the competition in a pile of chip dust. Don't settle for anything less than the champions of the chip aisle. Hers, forever good. Available at Menards.
Rated T for Teen.
The Arca Menards series is brought to you by General Tire. Anywhere is possible. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards.
Earlier today at Salem Speedway, General Tire Pole Award qualifying. The fast time set by none other than teenager Ty Gibbs.
He was fast in practice, Bob, on old tires. When they put new tires on to do their simulated qualifying runs, he was not on top of the boards, but when it counted, he bangs home the $1,000. And look at that, a General Tire Pole Award winner, not with a Venerini uniform on for only the fourth time this year.
That is incredible. Look at this sight right here, the Arca Fall Classic 200 tonight at Salem Speedway. And Ty Gibbs will lead the field to the green flag here tonight in that Monster Energy number 18. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. Sam Mayer, another young hotshot, another teenager, but out of Wisconsin alongside of Ty Gibbs.
Youth prevailing on the row 1, Corey Heim as well, a 17-year-old in row number 2. The oldest guy on the whole page is the guy leading the points, Michael Self at 28. This is a stacked field right up front.
Starting right behind Michael Self will be his rival in the championship standings, Christian Eckes. Travis Braden, Carson Hocevar still looking to win for the first time this year.
And note they start on the outside, which is critical here at Salem Speedway. Getting an outside start on the restart will be a matter of fact all race long. That should help them early on. Gavin Harlan, the third teammate, actually the fourth teammate today for Venerini Motorsports, will start outside row number 6.
And Gavin Harlan making his third start in the Arca Menards series this year. Strong field of cars to do battle here today at Salem Speedway. Ed Pampa, the best appearing car on the Arca Throwback Night here at Salem Speedway.
Also good to see Mike Basham and the Darrell Basham Racing number 34 back in action. That's the hometown team, if you will, here at Salem Speedway. He'll start 17th.
Tim Richmond, he's carrying a throwback scheme as well, and there is Colby Howard in the Wintron Racing number 32. Our Bounty Rookie Spotlight heading into this race. The kid has cut his teeth on the short tracks of America, already a couple times a winner this year in the Pro Late Model circuit.
Third generation racer. He races for the Anthony Campi in the late models, and here he's racing for Wintron Racing for just the second time this season. Colby made his debut here, Bob, last year, and he finished a solid 8th position. So I think this kid is going to be one to watch here tonight at Salem on the High Banks.
I always wait for this. I want to know what your keys to tonight's race is.
Who's going to win? You got to lead laps. You got to dictate the pace. You have to dictate when to pit. Dictate by leading is one of my keys for tonight's race. Also, the timing of the first pit stop. There's only 6 tires in the pits. When you pit and what do you take that first pit stop? If it falls just right, you'll be in a prime position at the end of the race with fresher tires. Tire management rolls right into that as well. Only 6 in pits. Well, these general tire radials are great, but they're really good when they're fresh. It's a matter of managing when you put on your sets of tires throughout the race.
And we always see a long green flag run in the middle of this race. There is the pace truck leading the field, getting ready to go green here at Salem Speedway. The crowd already on its feet here, and an enthusiastic crowd as we always see at Salem Speedway.
We say throwbacks. Have you walked through the grandstands? I did. There's a lot of throwback T-shirts. These aren't retros. These were made 25 years ago and worn for 25 straight years. Love to see the enthusiasm and the education. Very smart fans here at Salem.
Look at that shot from the Lucas Oil Chopper. Salem Speedway, 0.555 miles in length, 33-degree banking. And the green flag is out for the Arca throwback race at Salem Speedway. Gibbs masterful on the initial start of this race, but look at this battle already. Christian Eckes in that 3rd spot. Sam Mayer battling right there with the 28 of Carson Hocevar for 4th.
Mayer started on the front row, but had a very slow start comparatively. Ty Gibbs was able to lead the field into turn 1, and Michael Self also was able to clear from the 2nd row into the 2nd position to go single file before we got to turn 2. A great start by those guys. Sam Mayer struggling on the bottom here early in that car number 20 on the Chevy accessory Chevy, crew chief by Marty Lindley.
Sam Mayer felt like the weather spoiled a possible victory for him when we were here in the springtime. He finished 2nd when the rains came down and Michael Self went to victory lane, but Sam Mayer, the kid out of Wisconsin, thought that race was his.
And the number 28 driver, Carson Hocevar, his best finish of the season in his limited run. 3rd here at Salem Speedway after winning the pole position. So keep an eye on the number 28 machine. That car, the GMPartsNow.com Chevy, Carson Hocevar has a lot of confidence heading to this race, albeit with limited practice runs after a broken axle earlier in the day.
Honestly, a big surprise right in this mix of cars right here is the number 20 throwback machine for Venturini Motorsports with Chandler Smith. The defending winner of this race did not have the qualifying run we thought he might.
When he qualified 7th earlier this year, our jaws dropped. And as we watched qualifying, Bob, you and I, he only qualified 6th. I say only because Ty Gibbs already posted that number. And Chandler, more often than not, with his pole position prowess, has been able to answer those calls and be the driver that everybody stops and watches. Just didn't have the speed in qualifying today, but I don't think he was worried about that in the hot sunshine of practice today. Listening to what he was saying with his crew chief, Billy Venturini, let's worry about when that sun goes down. What do we have for a race car? We're not here for 1 lap, we're here for 200.
During practice, we were amazed watching these cars, and we can see coming out of turn number 4, this is a flat-out rough racetrack. There's no way we can ignore that. It was last paved in 1977. It's gritty, it's tough for the competitors, but because of that, it provides for some great racing.
And the new pavement put down was the shave of turns 3 and 4. That was 2014, but it could have been 1991 for all we know, because it's weathered here in the southern Indiana area. So the track surface has a lot of tendencies on both ends now, even with that fresher pavement on one end.
Ty Gibbs looking for his 2nd victory of the year. But man, he has finished in the runner-up spot on many occasions throughout both the Arca Menards series as well as his starts in the K&N series.
Yeah, Ty Gibbs has also a victory at Gateway. He was running 2nd in the last lap. He got into Sam Mayer with what he saw as an opening. They bumped, and Ty prevailed. I asked him earlier today, I said, how big was that victory? He said, man, that was huge to have that victory against that stiff competition. And he knows what he's got in hand here. He has Shannon Rush and the number 25 team with Michael Self at the wheel, right on his heels down the backstretch.
And that was a big surprise, honestly. If we look back to Salem earlier this spring, with that number 25 car for Michael Self and Shannon Rush, the crew chief, for them to win here, that really set the tone for the remainder of the season.
That was the only time Michael Self's ever raced here. He ever saw the place. He came here, I think, as a spotter once. He ran here before that?
He actually ran the fall race last year and finished 16th. So we weren't expecting anything out of him.
How could I forget that race? He was up in the top 5 when he and Zane Smith had an altercation that carried on for many laps. Now it comes back. It was the Sinclair colors, but a different car number. You're right, Tom.
So right now, Michael Self starting to close in on Ty Gibbs. Gibbs got that good start, but look at how Michael Self in the middle of the corner just gobbles up some territory. Gets a little bit closer each and every lap.
And Ty Gibbs is doing exactly what Michael Self is doing, believe it or not. Ty Gibbs is relying upon his spotter, Hal Martin. Where am I better? They don't quite have that established yet, but at this point, 5-7 laps into a run, where am I better? Where is he catching me? And Michael Self knows by looking out his front windshield, I got him better here. I can do better there. How about if I pressure him a little bit where he may be a little bit weaker to get those tires worn off on that black number 18, and then he can pounce.
You know, one of the other factors here today, you talk about the keys to the race, is getting around some slower traffic. Brian Finney, going a lap down now in that number 80 car. I say Kevin because he's my neighbor back in Concord, North Carolina. But how close they come to some of this slower traffic can put them in a precarious position. Let's go downstairs to find out more from Alex Hayden.
Well, you guys are mentioning Ty Gibbs battling Michael Self for the race lead. Ty Gibbs is backing up the entry to turn 1 as well as turn number 3. That enables Michael Self to chop off a couple of car lengths. Then it's Ty Gibbs who's able to get back on the throttle in the center of the corner. He's able to maintain that 4, maybe 5 car length advantage. So different driving styles early on between the top two.
Different driving styles, different pitch strategies. We'll be talking about that a lot here, especially as the sun sets over the backstretch here at this half-mile facility. Now, we've seen a lot of different strategies over the year. We know the springtime race is different than the fall race here. What do you expect in terms of when these guys are going to come in for their first round of tires?
Because these general tires are so good, I think if the pace stays where there's 7 or 8 cars on lead lap, I think they want to go longer in the race. I don't think they want to come early. I think they want to wait, because if they can hold pace and those 8 cars can stay on lead lap and kind of ride just a little bit, that'll be huge. So maybe lap 80 or so would be ideal for the leaders to pit. But if they get to where they can lap up to 6 cars based upon the pace that even Michael Self showed in the brief race we saw under green last spring, I think we might have a chance. If there's 4 or 5 cars on lead lap, they might want to come earlier to again keep that position, keep that advantage, and only have 5 cars on lead lap if they do get to pit under caution early.
This place is such a unique facility. Let's take a look at Salem Speedway with the General Tire track map. This facility located in the southern portion of Indiana. And when I say it is high banked, it's incredible. 33 degrees of banking in the corner, just over a half mile in length. This is tough as nails for all the competitors.
Turns 1 and 2 are completely different. As we watch in the lower box, they drive through the middle of turns 1 and 2 and sweep up and then dip down to the bottom of turn 2. If you're on the bottom of 3 and 4, you're going to spin out. There's nothing down there. There's no banking down there. The high line is the line. They enter about 3 car lengths off and drift all the way up to the wall. You can see them dancing off. We'll see more than just a few more black marks on that outside wall in turns 3 and 4. This track is very, very challenging with 2 completely different ends and getting that speed off of turn 4. You can't get tail happy. It's easy with the gas pedal to do that here.
And there is no better race to have a throwback race than here at Salem Speedway, because this is the 106th race that Arca has held here at Salem Speedway. That's an incredible history. Here is Christian Eckes in the 15 with a throwback scheme, and as I say that, we'll get back to that. The yellow flag comes out 24 laps into this 200-lap race.
Boy, I don't know. We talk strategy. I don't know if I'd come in early now. There's a lot of cars on the lead lap. 12 cars still on the lead lap, Bob. I think it's a little early. I think you know what the competition has. I think Ty Gibbs may want to say, you know what, if I'm on the outside, that makes Michael Self has to restart on the inside. We'll see if we have an advantage once we get going back. I just wonder if it's, I'm just saying it's too early to pit.
Think about this, though. High above Salem Speedway, all the crew chiefs pondering what they want to do on pit road right now. Remember back 3 years ago, I think it was, Christian Eckes had a mishap with Gus Dean, spun on the racetrack, came down around lap 25, went back out. We had a long green flag run. He lapped everybody but the second place runner.
He had to pit.
He had to pit. So he came down pit road. Strategy galore here tonight at Salem Speedway for the Arca Menards Series.
Keep your projects moving with Masterforce Flex Power brushless power tools. Masterforce's growing line of professional cordless tools gives you power, performance, and durability for whatever you're up against. Masterforce brushless motors give you up to 10 times longer motor life, 30% more power, and 1.5 times more runtime over standard power tools. The perfect solution for getting your projects from start to finish. Power, performance, and durability. Masterforce, available at Menards.
After a tough day at the track, cleaning up can be a time-consuming task. That's why we use Extreme Cleaner, the non-toxic, biodegradable, multi-purpose cleaner and degreaser. Extreme Cleaner cuts through even the toughest of grease and grime. Fast. Great for cleaning tools and work surfaces. Extreme Cleaner. Tough on grime, safe on the environment. Available at Hardware Hank.
The freedom of the open road and luxurious travel begins at Dillon's RV Center. We are proud to be the leading dealer for show hauler, Hallmark, Dynamax, and Renegade. There's no better way to experience the fun and excitement of NASCAR, motorsports, and racing. For adventure and relaxation in luxury, come to Dillon's. Dillon's will create the perfect, affordable motorhome of your dreams. Visit DillonsRV.com. Dillon's RV Center, New Jersey's #1 Class A motorhome dealer.
All the parts that you need to keep her on the road. For work, for school, everywhere you go. But sometimes they can be hard to find. Rock Auto's got the parts for whatever you drive. Upkeep on that work truck, you just save some big bucks. All the parts you're looking for delivered to your front door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
Under caution for debris on the racetrack early in the Arca Fall Classic 200 at Salem Speedway. Ty Gibbs continues to lead in the early going, but series points leader Michael Self right on his back bumper. He was beginning to close the gap. There is Chandler Smith. He's all the way back in the 10th spot. A big surprise, honestly, at this stage of the game, Alex Hayden.
It is, and because Chandler Smith is such a rocket every time he gets behind the wheel of one of these Arca Menards cars, so we expected him to drive right up towards the front of the field. Problem being is the car's not gripping the racetrack in the banking. You guys mentioned 33 degrees of banking for these cars to sit on and get a good launch down the straightaways. His car's not able to hold the banking like the front runners are doing. They're going to have to ride it out until they can get to pit road and make an adjustment.
I thought if anyone's going to pit maybe that team after looking where they're sitting now. Another point is Chandler's been here twice. He's led 79% of the laps. He's led 319 of 400 laps here, including all but one lap last time on this racetrack. So the puzzling question is, what changed so much? Well, guess what? The racetrack's changed. The technology's changed. This team was struggling a little bit in the hot sunshine to find grip on the racetrack, and it's certainly rearing its head now in the early portions of this race.
The kid is just flat out talented. 17 years old, out of Talking Rock, Georgia. And think about his prowess here today or throughout his history in the last year at Salem Speedway. He cut a tire on the final lap running second in his first attempt here. Won this race last year in his second start, and honestly was leading, pitted, and then the rains came and he lost the race, possibly even because of that here in the spring this past year.
That's how it's so hard to predict what you can learn from the spring, Bob, because 4 teams were on the lead lap that did not pit. Then they pitted, and then the race was called because the rains really opened up, and we thought we were going back to green, so why not pit? And it bit them. So there are a lot of teams going, our notebook is here, but what can we use out of it from that spring race? And somehow, some way, the translation of what happened then and how Chandler's been so good and being a little bit off, part of it could be confidence, too. I mean, it's all a matter of we were clicking every time we show up here. Now they struggle a little bit today.
He hasn't been in an Arca car in the past month and a half. That could be a contributing factor as well. Ty Gibbs leading the field here. He chooses the outside lane for this restart. Coming to green this time by, and that is the preferred line around this racetrack.
Christian Eckes position on the inside in the second row on this restart as well, car 15.
Look at the start that Ty Gibbs gets once again. Just like the initial start of this race, he rockets out in front of the field by about 4 or 5 car lengths over Michael Self.
There's a thing called getting a penalty for jumping the restart. Michael Self does not want to have any sort of blemishes on his record when it comes to what happened in the race I can avoid. Jumping the start would be one because that's a drive-through penalty, and here at Salem that could be a 2-lap penalty. So if Self was a little bit lazy on the gas, I'd say that may be a big reason why. Does not want to lose track position here this early in the race.
And look at this, Joe Graham Jr. in that Eat Sleep race machine for Chad Bryant Racing, having one of his best runs as of late. He has struggled, a roller coaster year for the driver that won at Berlin Raceway in Michigan last year. But right now, he's knocking on the door for a top 5 running spot early in this race.
He's also trying to say, hey, let's be patient here to Carson Hocevar behind him. They're in practice. They worked on turns 3 and 4. They thought they had something in turns 3 and 4 that really helped them. Then they shifted over in the 90-minute session with he and his crew chief Paul Andrews to working on turns 1 and 2 and working down the racetrack. I'm sorry, Chad Bryant, the crew chief on the 77. Paul's on the 22. So they worked down the racetrack, worked back up the racetrack to get Joe comfortable. This is a hard place to figure out. And you know, as Joe's attacking it, see him saw the wheel there? Turn 4 may not be his favorite corner all of a sudden anymore.
That was incredible. There's the 23 of Brett Holmes, comes into this race third in the series standings, has never finished outside the top 10 here at Salem Speedway with the best finish of third. He likes this place.
Well, Brett is one of those guys, if you can stand on the gas and find a line, and being a dirt tracker from way back in his Talladega short track days and racing up and down the East Coast, I think he's right at home here at this racetrack. He has a knack and ability, and now crew chief Shane Huffman. Shane's come over and done wonderful things. I mentioned that talent level has always been there. The confidence level back in Brett Holmes' step. I can see how he and his dad go about the race weekend. Contact there, Bob.
Wow, contact between Brett Holmes and Carson Hocevar. Hocevar in that blue and white number 28 coming off of turn number 4. And honestly, if you're talking about a trouble spot for the race, turn 4 is kind of known as Calamity Corner here for the Arca Menards series at Salem Speedway.
Hocevar only had one half a race really this past spring, and he had very limited practice, as I alluded to earlier, Bob. He had a rear axle issue. So Mike Bursley and Zach Dunstan went after it, and they spent the entire time in practice to get the axle fixed. So he had a little bit of practice, not a lot. So that could be part of Carson's issue there, is what can the whole track hold me, and when I get someone next to me, which didn't happen in practice, what's that like?
Third place in the standings is the 23 of Brett Holmes. Fourth in the standings is the 27 of Travis Braden, just 2 spots behind Brett Holmes on the racetrack. Travis Braden has run here in late models. He's run here in the Arca series. This hasn't been one of his best tracks, but it's a track that he likes a lot. Travis Braden currently running in 10th.
And again, it's all about that momentum, getting those points. And he won at Lucas Oil Raceway. That's our next event, October 5th. He knows what he can do there. But to get points here on a guy that's done so well, the difference right now between Braden and Holmes in the overall points is 85 points. That's not a ton, considering that Christian Eckes 1 race ago made up 35 with both the top 5 run by he and Michael Self.
This battle between Hocevar and Holmes is getting a little bit crazy right now. Holmes trying to look to the inside of Carson Hocevar early in this one still. Only 40 laps completed here around the high banks of Salem Speedway. There is the subject of our Bounty Rookie Spotlight, Colby Howard. Colby actually ran a race here at Salem Speedway in the Arca Menards series last year.
It was his first race. He's run 3 races, all top 10 finishes, so Colby knows how to make it last. He doesn't bang off the wall. He doesn't get the car messed up, doesn't get himself in trouble. Here, this black number 32 Project Hope, yourpal.com. Chevy, Kevin Sawinski, the owners here. They've got the great team with Jamie Jones behind them. They're running a part-time schedule this year after a couple of full seasons with Gus Dean. They didn't lose much here by not being here every weekend.
And honestly, they're thinking about going full-time once again in 2020 in the Arca Menards series. Right now, Colby Howard looking to the inside. That's a tough place, honestly, to try to pull off a pass, especially here. He doesn't have a lot of laps on Salem Speedway, but going down to the bottom in turn number 1, you know that number 32 is going to do one thing if you go right to the bottom, and that's going to shoot up the racetrack.
Well, and I talked to Colby, he said, this is my last Arca chance. This is my last chance to make an impression, because it takes funding. It takes a sponsor. It takes awareness. And if you walk into an office and say, I've got a top 5 finish at Salem Speedway, back in the day, A.J. Foyt said, if you ran that high here in an open wheel car, people at Indianapolis are looking at you. So hopefully Colby can find something to race here more in this series. At his tender age of 18, making his way into this series, it's a great, great jump for him. And he's been making the most of those 3 top 10 finishes in all 3 starts.
Ty Gibbs has been running the NASCAR Can-Am East Circuit as of late. 4 straight top 5 finishes in that. 3 of those were runner-up finishes. We talk about that bridesmaid situation. Yes, he does have 1 win this year in the Arca Series. Michael Self in that 25 has had a great year. The series points leader with 4 wins to his credit, but right now, Sam Mayer, the teenager, closing in on the 25.
Mayer started second, drifted back really out, just didn't have the track position early on, and found a way to find a hole. Now he's restarted in the third spot, or fourth, excuse me. Up to second and third now are those two guys that are racing for this position. Mayer got the advantage of that restart, starting outside of row number 2. He started on the inside of the front row at the initial start, and he knew the bottom is not where he wanted to be. That's what it matters. It matters to be in the right spot and on the outside on these restarts.
Sam Mayer almost had the victory at Gateway until he and Ty Gibbs had a moment in turn number 3 on the final lap, and Sam Mayer went up the racetrack. Ty Gibbs won, but Sam Mayer has been so strong. He leads the standings in the NASCAR K&N East Circuit right now by virtue of winning 2 of the last 3 races.
And he also has a championship to win with those 2 races remaining in the season. I also think he's going to have a real good shot at being a young champion in that series. And he's looking at coming back to Arca as much as he can, coming back to run the full East schedule and some truck races. He has 2 left this year for GMS Racing. So he's a driver that's getting a lot of laps with Marty Lindley at the controls no matter where they go. So good to see Sam Mayer back here. I think he's got 7 or 8 races this year. He's racing here and at Lucas Oil Raceway on October 5th. So it should be fun to watch this 16-year-old develop right in front of our very eyes here on MAP TV.
A pair of 16-year-olds in the top 3 early in the going. 50 laps now complete. Ty Gibbs continues to lead this one over Michael Self and Sam Mayer. The number 18 team looking for its second victory of 2019. Can they get it done on the high banks of Salem Speedway? They are very strong early in the going here in the Fall Classic at Salem Speedway. Ty Gibbs, the grandson of Joe Gibbs, is definitely making his mark in the Arca Menards Series this year. But can he get win number 2 here tonight at Salem Speedway? We'll find out.
For more than half a century, Sioux Chief has been the name to know for quality American-made rough plumbing products. It's the choice of contractors with stylish and innovative shower drains, bracketing systems, and a full line of supply fittings. Sioux Chief expansion grip systems provide solid connections. Protect your ice maker, dishwasher, toilet, or washing machine from harmful water hammer by installing a Sioux Chief mini rester that's guaranteed for the lifetime of your home's plumbing. Sioux Chief is your plumbing solution. Available at your nearest Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
You can't fake greatness. Not on the track and not in the chip aisle. Like a seasoned driver behind the wheel, Hers chips take you from caution flag levels of hunger to checkered flag feelings of satisfaction. When it comes to race day snacks, the signature crunch and endless flavors of Hers leaves the competition in a pile of chip dust. Don't settle for anything less than the champions of the chip aisle. Hers, forever good. Available at Menards.
Are we supposed to dance?
Boy bands without dancing are just okay. Get a better than just okay unlimited plan with Spotify Premium included on America's Best Network. Only from AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing.
Give it up for the big hurt, Frank Thomas. Congratulations, Frank. Hey, Andy, Doug, you guys look great. Hey, I feel great, too. Ever since you told me about Nugenix Total T, I feel stronger, and I'm crushing my workouts.
Thanks to Nugenix, I got more energy, more stamina, feeling years younger. It's awesome. Nugenix Total T gets you back on top of your game.
From the brand that brought you GNC's #1 vitality product and product of the year, new Nugenix Total T is our most powerful man-boosting formula ever because it boosts your free testosterone and your total testosterone. To get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, text STRONG to 369-369.
I like the competitive edge Nugenix gives me. Hey, me too. Guys over 40, you need Nugenix Total T, and she'll like it too.
Text STRONG to 369-369 now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Samples are not available in stores, so text STRONG to 369-369 now.
2,000 fence posts, 900 acres, 48 bales, all before lunch, which we caught last Saturday. We earn our scars. We wear our work ethic. We work until the work's done. When it is, a few hours of shut-eye to rest up for tomorrow, the day we'll finally get something done.
It's the all Arca Fall Classic 200 at Salem Speedway tonight. You can see cars strung all the way around this racetrack. 62 laps complete of 200 already. Clicking off laps here is Ty Gibbs leading this race, but what a race we had for the second spot. Look at Sam Mayer in that 21 with the 25. This is our Auto Park It replay, and this was interesting because they traded paint.
This is how you do it. Going down the backstretch, you pull even. Then you want to move them up just a little bit. Sam Mayer did that. His spotter, veteran Lauren Renier, said, there you go, clear. Now that's how you make a Salem pass work.
It's a short track. It's a high banked half mile. Contact is inevitable at some point in the race, and just that little body slam going into turn number 1 really paid off for Sam Mayer. Now he's trying to track down this car, Ty Gibbs, in the number 18.
1.1 seconds is the difference between our race leader since the outset. Ty Gibbs, our pole sitter, elected to switch off to the front row on the outside on the initial start. Just one caution so far, Bob. I think right now, as we're sitting here 65 laps into this, if we have a caution, I'm going to say they're going to come. We still have 12 cars on the lead lap. That's another number to keep in factoring. You can get a few more cars a lap down. That's why Ty Gibbs may be pushing it right here. Not riding, not just saying, oh, I've got a second lead. He wants to get to more cars, to get them down on the order, so he has less cars to worry about on the lead lap.
And right now, Gibbs has a little bit of a lead, almost a second advantage over Sam Mayer, but Sam Mayer is starting to close the gap here. But I think what you mentioned, 66 laps into this one, is really, you got to think about the pit strategy. And we want to take a look at the Geico 411 here because that pit window is very critical. 6 General tires in the pit area. We know that pit window is normally between 50 and 75, but that can slide a little bit depending on the cautions that fall in this race.
And right now, it's a bonus. The temperatures are getting cooler. It's a bonus to go beyond that 75-lap window and get into 80 or 90. If you go to 100, guess what that means? You have 100 laps to burn up 6 tires that you can throw at this race car that were not on the car when it started.
And the sun is beginning to set over the backstretch here. The lights are beginning to come on. Here's Corey Heim in the 22. Corey in the Carbon Racing Solutions race car for Chad Bryant Racing. And here comes the 23 of Brett Holmes, the driver out of Alabama, looking very strong early in the going here, currently running in 7th.
He is right behind Corey Heim. Heim lost the spot to his teammate Joe Graff, and the car seems to be a little bit off now on the number 22 machine. He started 3rd, had a great practice session. Temperature to nighttime again for Corey and this team, working through it. He and Paul Andrews have done great things, but right now that car is a bit off. So if Brent Holmes can pass him, that's one more spot. When you come to pit road, guess what? That's so critical to get in and out cleanly. They're pitted near each other on the front stretch here. So getting ahead of the 22, that's another factor in getting a better, cleaner pit stop on the tight pit road here at Salem.
On race-style runs, nobody was faster than the 22 of Corey Heim in practice. But as you mentioned, that was during the hot heat of the sun during the day. Now you can see the lights are starting to come on here, and it's got a little bit more darker conditions, and that'll change the track characteristics.
Beautiful sunset behind the golf course off the back stretch here. Love this helicopter. Can we have it at every race, Bob? Can we make that happen?
We're going to have to figure something out. I tell you what, I can't wait to get to Lucas Oil Raceway on October 5th. That's going to be a blast. The final race in the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge. That'll be round number 11, and that will be the race that will figure out the overall championship for the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge. This is round number 10. When we get through that final race, you'll be able to drop your worst finish.
And that's going to play another huge factor in how that race is run. So if a driver can lose a race and only count the best 10 finishes on the 11 run, we can see a whole lot of sparks flying at Lucas Oil Raceway on that Saturday night. Our last race live here on MAV with the Arca Menards Series.
Pretty interesting here because Carson Hocevar, who ran so strong, a 3rd place run in the springtime, has just gone a lap down. As you were talking, I was looking at that screen. I said, no way, the 28 is going a lap down. The kid out of Michigan is always very fast, but as you mentioned, he struggled here a little bit today in practice. Yellow flag back out. Smoke out of the 55 of Gavin Harlan. So a bad break for him. He was running 12th, and a lot of smoke out of the back end of that race car.
Gavin Harlan, just his 3rd start. Crew chief Frank Kimmel, 9 victories here in 44 starts. Dave Leiner's got a ton of wins here. He's the car chief de facto on this number 55. The great paint scheme here, you're like, what's going on there? That was Tony Venturini. That's Billy Venturini's grandfather. That's the paint scheme he ran back at Soldier Field and other short tracks around the Chicagoland area. And unfortunately for the off-road star, Gavin Harlan having an issue just getting that car to pit road, something terminal under the hood of that Toyota Camry.
So we're getting a report that the crews are getting ready for possible pit stops here. And this is a shot from the Lucas Oil chopper of the activity on the racetrack and what's going on pit road. You can see from that shot there how tight pit road is. When you come down and you change tires, it's definitely an interesting scene down there, Alex.
It really is. It's strategy time because definitely we're going to see all these cars come to pit road. Now, the question for the crew chief, do you put on only right side general tires and save that 4 set for later in the race where you could potentially make a run to the checkered flag? Or do you go ahead and bolt on all 4 right now, rock it to the front of the field, and then only have 2 fresh left in the pit box? It's decision time because after a 20-lap run under green, the lap times fall off by almost a full second. That's how valuable the new tires are.
And Alex, this is something to consider as well. I don't believe they'll be pitting this time by because Gavin Harlan was blocking the entrance to pit road. So I believe it'll be at least one more lap until we come down pit road with a lot of these race cars and what we are expecting here. But if you only take 2 right now and you get a really long green flag run, we've seen a lot of cars go a lap down in a hurry here in a long green flag run.
And it's a matter of split seconds. Those fresh tires mean everything. And I don't know if they're going to take 2 or 4 here, but I'm telling you what, those fresh tires will make the difference. If they stay out, if the leaders stay out and the guys 5th on back pit, it won't be long before you get a whole lot of action at the head of the field because they're going to come in a hurry. Those fresh tires, a second fall off in the first 10 laps, I mean, it's huge.
You got to really enjoy the strategy here, and this is what's going to make you a hero or a zero in terms of the crew chief and the decision that you need to make in a split second. There's Gavin Harlan on pit road. The hood is up on that number 55 machine for Venturini Motorsports, a former competitor in the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series.
And he has the hashtag 4 Presley. That's his younger sister by a year. She is has autism, so autism awareness is a campaign for the entire Harlan family out of Mesa, Arizona. So great to see that he's got his sister's name right along with him in each of the races here this year, the 3 that he's run.
You can see from that shot from the Lucas Oil chopper there, a quarter-mile track in the infield here and a figure-8 track. I'm always a big fan of going to racetracks and facilities that have figure-8 tracks. My dad was a former figure-8 racer, and honestly, it's some of the most wild racing you'll see anywhere in the country.
I rented a car to come here, Bob. I don't know if I should give that as and worry about where my keys are in the booth up here because you might be taking that thing for a couple of figure-8 laps. I think I'm a little worried right now.
Let's talk about the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge, though, because we could get ourselves into trouble with figure-8 racing here at Salem Speedway. And as we mentioned, it's an 11-race series. But this series this year has been dominated by one team. All of the victories have been owned by Venturini Motorsports.
3 different drivers, but of late Chandler Smith before we went to the dirt tracks, man. He was on it, and when we got to the dirt, there goes Michael Self and Christian Eckes backing up their wins and getting their points closer than ever. As we go to round 11, this is round 10. Round 11 is October 5th in Brownsburg, Indiana at Lucas Oil Raceway.
This is the penultimate round tonight at Salem Speedway.
I like that word. I like that word.
It's a fancy one.
Yeah.
Looked it up right before the show. Yeah. But we're excited to finish the season for the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge. When we get to Lucas Oil Raceway on October 5th, we will decide and crown a champion that night of the Short Track Series. Another series within a series here in the Arca Menards Series.
I just noticed another figure-8 track we can make out of this one, Bob. It's a little longer using turns 1 and 2. Or 3 and 4, excuse me, and make it a big figure-8.
That would be a huge figure-8, high-speed one at that. Pits are open. Here we go. Who's coming in? Who is not? The top 2 definitely coming down pit road. It looks like just about everybody. You see Tim Richmond in that white car. Looks like he's overheating a little bit, so he'll have to bring that to the attention of his crew on pit road. But a flurry of activity right now on pit road.
Ty Gibbs in the center of the big screen on your left is their race leader coming in. He's going to change. He's on the bend, if you will. The pits bend all the way down to turn 1. That's where Sam Mayer is in the bottom of the right-hand screen. 2 tires for Ty Gibbs. Adjustment there, 2 rounds. Wow.
So, Alex Hayden, what did you see out of that Ty Gibbs pit stop?
Yeah, they're having a problem trying to get him stopped short. They were very adamant for Ty to make sure he stopped short in the pit box because the 32 car was going to be pulling in just in front of him. So they wanted a clean exit out. Right side, General Tires only. Top him off with that Sunoco fuel. They are complaining just a bit, Ty is, that the water temperature is beginning to rise on that car. So something we'll have to keep a close eye on. It was also right side tires for Sam Mayer, although not quite as quick. He lost a spot. Michael Self's team got him out ahead.
That's going to be interesting. Possibly a heating issue underneath the hood on the 18 for Ty Gibbs, who has been so dominant so far. So the top 3 that came onto pit road, we know they took all right side tires. So they still have 4 tires in the pit area for later on in the race. What did everybody else take? We'll sort things out when we come back here for the Arca Menards Series at Salem Speedway on MAV TV with the Fall Classic 200.
Rated T for Teen.
Remember how parking used to be? The slow roll around, hoping somebody pulls out. Oh. Oh, come on. Then you finally find the spot. But you need a shoehorn to get out. That was then. You don't use your grandpa's phone. So why do you still park like it's 1999? I don't. I auto park. It's time to upgrade your parking. Go to autoparking.com to see how.
Some like it brand new, but for those of us who like it just the way it is, Lucas High Mileage Fuel Treatment is here for you. High Mileage Fuel Treatment is specially formulated for vehicles having over 75,000 miles. When added to your fuel tank after filling up, our unique Lucas additives go to work, aggressively cleaning and lubricating the entire system. Your high mileage vehicle will be treated to restored power, better fuel economy, and a smoother running engine. Lucas High Mileage Fuel Treatment, for those that like it just the way it is. Lucas Oil, it works.
We didn't just test the new Optima Yellow Top with Pure Flow technology. We tortured it. Pikes Peak is one shot up 12.42 miles of breathtaking turns and mountainous extremes. It's one thing to call yourself the ultimate power source. It's another thing to prove it. The all-new Optima Yellow Top with Pure Flow technology with up to 3 times the battery life. Unsurpassed performance built to fit today's vehicles. Optima, the ultimate power source.
A dramatic turn of events for series points leader Michael Self. He is in the infield. He relinquishes the 3rd place position on the racetrack. They pulled the hood up on the race car and they said, take it to the infield. So now Shannon Rush and that team looking at that race car. Here's the replay of what happened when they came to pit road, Jim.
It was a sudden jerk to the wheel to the left of pit road for Michael Self. As they came to a pit stop, the team is starting to tell his crew chief, there's something wrong under the hood. We can't fix it here. We can't fix it here. They have a crash cart. You see they have an entire setup in the figure 8 area for this team, whether it be a Venturini car that's Gavin Harlan's or Michael Self's. They've got a whole area working just for their cars in the pit area. So they brought extra equipment in the infield to help in circumstances that, boy, this is a huge circumstance to try to overcome.
And this is exactly what we talked about at the top of the show. Michael Self, that 70-point lead over Christian Eckes. Christian Eckes, who runs very strong here at Salem Speedway, now currently running in the 3rd spot. He stands to gain a lot of ground, honestly, in this championship equation. Now with 2 races to go after this one, Let's go down to Alex.
Well, guys, standing here looking up underneath the left front wheel well where they're working on the point leader Michael Self's car, there's definitely a piece of, looks like a broken suspension, not exactly sure which part of it, but it is hanging straight down. That's not good. I'm not a mechanic, but I can tell you that is no good on a race car, so they're going to work feverishly down here trying to get that taken care of.
And I thought I saw something interesting by the right front of that race car. If we pan down a little bit to the right front, honestly, I thought I saw some fluid down there as well in the above shot, right by the right front tire. So you
definitely fluid there, Bob.
You see some fluid there.
Talking about it, so I told you.
So let's take a look at what that is. Not exactly sure what that is right there, but you definitely see some fluid, some overheating, I believe, from the 25 car. So definitely a problem for the point leader as we're getting set to go back to green flag racing here at Salem Speedway. Green flag back out. Just like every other restart so far. Ty Gibbs grabs that lead, but now Brett Holmes into the second spot. A good run by the driver of the orange 23. We are told that Chandler Smith in the number 20 will have a drive-through penalty. We will clarify exactly what that was. So Chandler Smith was running in the top 10.
Alex Hayden just also telling us a lower A-frame has broken on Michael Self's point championship leading Toyota. Wow.
So Christian Eckes in that 15. Now is his time to shine. He needs to stay consistent here, finish in the top 5, and really narrow that margin between he and Michael Self. Now, I am told that Chandler Smith got that penalty because he pulled out of line prior to the start-finish line on that restart.
By rule, the start line is in turn 4. You must stay in your lane until you get to the start-finish line. Then you can make a move. He did it prior to the line on that restart.
So a lot of shakeups going on here as we approach the halfway point in this race. Michael Self is in the infield with an apparent overheating or engine issue on the Sinclair number 25. Second place in points is Christian Eckes. He's currently running in the 3rd spot. Another Venturini Motorsports car, the 55, is out, Gavin Harland, and then another one just got a penalty. So 3 of the 4 Venturini cars with trouble in the first half of this race.
Doing the math back to what the team told us when Christian Eckes crashed at Talladega, he finished 26th. Michael Self did a lot better than that, and guess what? There was a 115-point swing they calculated in that one race. We may have a new point leader heading out of this racetrack if all goes to plan for Christian Eckes, and Michael Self's not able to get back on the track in the next 20, 30 laps.
There are other implications as well. Remember, we talked about the CGS Imaging 4 Crown Championship. Coming into this race, Michael Self was only 35 points ahead of Brett Holmes. Well, Self was behind the wall. Holmes is running second.
Self could even drop off the top 5 in the standings. That awards 1 champion for the 4 different diverse racetracks we run on the given schedule. Here comes Chandler Smith to serve that penalty. He came to pit road, Bob, because that car handling wasn't just right, and now he has had another reason to come down to pit road. Will he make an adjustment or drive straight through? It's under green. He's got to go.
Yeah, he's got to go indeed. He actually came down pit road in this most recent caution period on 2 different occasions. So it's not been the day we figured the number 20 team would have had.
Venturini Motorsports right now is scratching their head in a big way going, what are we doing? What are we doing wrong? What are we doing right? A lot of uncertainties for a team that's dominated the entire 2019 campaign. If you look at every statistical category, laps led, different drivers that won. Shoot, they've led the most laps in 11 of the races thus far this year with at least one of their drivers.
This is an interesting wrinkle coming into this race. Michael Self with a 70-point lead over Christian Eckes. We talked about the CGS Imaging 4 Crown Championship. It'll be decided here tonight. This is round 10 of the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge. Implications for that as well. But Michael Self right now is sitting in the car in the infield watching his teammate Christian Eckes run in the top 5, just itching to get back out there is Michael Self. and this Venturini Motorsports team doing all they can to get that 25 car back out there so he can get those valuable points if somebody drops out of the race.
Team made a pit stop. We're going to line up third on the restart, and they came down pit road on a lower A-frame issue on Michael Self's Toyota Camry behind pit wall. They're continuing to work on it, but man, these laps are clicking by pretty fast. We're still at an 18.9 second pace on these laps, and I thought we'd be down to like 19.5s-ish by this point. But that fresh rubber means everything. We're still clicking them off. We have 2 fresh right side tires. Those teams came down on lap 76. That's just 22 laps ago, so they've got a lot fresher tires, and this pace is hurting one driver who's behind pit wall, hoping he can get back out on the racetrack real soon.
What's going on with the 25, Alex?
I've just found out the lower A-frame, part of the suspension that helps this race car get around this very bumpy Salem Speedway, the lower A-frame bolt came out of it. The A-frame itself is intact. They just lost the bolt out of it. Now they're trying to figure out how they can get that back in there, because with that lower A-frame dragging the asphalt, that really ground it down and having a hard time getting the new bolt in there.
So caution comes out for the third time here at Salem Speedway tonight. It was possibly for Tim Richmond in that 06 car, a throwback scheme for him to Freddie Lorenzen back in the day, in the NASCAR days. So they are going to go underneath the hood. So we initially thought it was a problem underneath the hood for Michael Self, but an A-frame issue with that bolt coming out, that is a good thing and a bad thing. It's difficult to fix, but at the same time, at least it's nothing to do with that engine and the power plant on that race car.
Checking for fluid on the track as well. This caution may take a little while, Bob.
So under caution once again. Boy, things are twisting and turning here tonight in Salem, Indiana. The Nugenics Top 5 going to break here on MAP TV.
Introducing the Hometown Collection by Fanatics. Prep your team and city with this collection of locally inspired graphics designed for the fan. Available at Fanatics.com. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Geico makes it easy to get help when I need it. With licensed agents available 24/7, it's not just easy. It's having Jerome Bettis on your flag football team easy. Go get him, Bus!
Ooh. Come on, Bus. Come on. Hey, wait. Man, I got the flag. I got your flag, man. I got your flag.
It's Geico Easy. Yeah. With licensed agents available 24/7.
49 nothing.
Yeah, hair loss runs in my family, but I use Keeps, the easiest way to keep my hair. And it only costs $1 a day. Learn more at Keeps.com.
Introducing Lucas Oil Racing TV, your exclusive unlimited 24/7 motorsports app. Now you can watch all your favorite motorsports anytime, anywhere. Get the finest in grassroots racing, national events, live coverage, behind-the-scenes action, and interviews you won't see anywhere else. There's also automotive how-to shows and some of motorsports' biggest names like Dave Despain, hosting the legends and current superstars of racing. For more information, visit lucasoilracing.tv. Lucas Oil Racing TV. Grab it and hold on tight.
It's about the hours spent getting everything just right. It's the attention to detail. Good just isn't good enough. It's the years spent on the water day after day. When you tie on a bait by Strike King, you're standing on the shoulders of legends.
The Richmond Water Heaters mid-race recap for the Fall Classic 200 for the Arca Menards Series. Pole sitter Ty Gibbs very strong early in the going, but Michael Self also very strong, the point leader in that 25.
So they kept pace and kept the pressure on. We had a caution at lap 25. These teams had a chance to evaluate each other. We threw the rag back, and another 50 laps clicked off in no time. I saw some great close contact there with Brett Holmes getting in the side of Carson Hocevar's Chevy.
There's some more contact to come. Watch Sam Mayer in the 21 car get up into the side of Michael Self. Michael Self a little later on had some issues with the lower A-frame of the bolt falling out. Here's a battle between teammates just outside of the top 5. Joe Grant getting by the 22 of Corey Hines.
Just that one nudge. Corey Hines been trying to battle back from that. Trying to get back in the top 5. He's just inside the top 5 now. And then this issue. This huge issue in many, many ways. Under caution. Lap 85, Michael Self comes to pit road with a huge problem.
This changes the tide in the championship quest right now. Ty Gibbs continues to dominate this race, but all eyes are on the overall Arca Menards Series Championship. Self behind the wall, top 5 so far for Christian Eckes. The Richmond Water Heaters mid-race recap. 3 cautions so far in this race.
Chandler Smith gets one of his 2 laps back. He's now only 1 lap down. Carter wanting to free pass.
Watch Christian Eckes trying to gobble up some positions on the outside. He's got the preferred groove. Wow, that was close-quartered racing coming off of turn number 2 as he goes to the outside of Brett Holmes and drives to second.
Holmes is trying to get up behind second-place car. Eckes couldn't do it, did not want to get any ruffled feathers there, but it was awfully close. He knew better to bring that car right back down to get a better run. Now he's on the outside in that red number 23 Holmes 2 Excavation Chevrolet.
Things settle out, or settle down, I should say, in the top 5. Brett Holmes to that 3rd spot. Sam Mayer in 4th. Corey Heim back into the top 5 now in that 22 car. So Holmes holds steady in the 3rd spot, but just in front of him is that 15 car for Christian Eckes. And Eckes has honestly had a very busy weekend. He was in Las Vegas last night in the NASCAR Truck Series. The pole award last night for him, a podium finish with 3rd. He flew overnight on a red eye, and you saw him at the hotel this morning.
9:30 this morning, walked in, got a big hug from Big Bill and Kathy Venturini. He was in safely. They had Casey Roderick as their backup plan, the short track standout. He was here just in case Christian had an issue, whether it be practice or qualifying, couldn't make portion of the day. And Christian made it in time, but yeah, he's one tired dog right now. I'm sure the adrenaline's flowing. He'll forget about sleep for a while during this race.
The Sioux Chief short track standings coming into this one. Michael Self had a pretty considerable lead in this one, 140 points over both Brett Holmes and Corey Heim.
In these positions, I'm telling you, the short track challenge this year has been amazing. Michael Self's the only driver of these top 5 that didn't change a position from the dirt track at DuQuoin to now. They continued to move up and down the standings. So they're, again, all in play. All this comes down to this race and October 5th to decide the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge champion.
90 laps to go. And Sam Mayer continues to try to look to the inside. Will he trade paint with another car and pull off another patented Salem move, just like last time?
Well, this time he dipped down in turns 3 and 4. He went into turn 3 next to the car he tried to pass and did successfully. Now he's getting a bravery. He just towed it down to the middle of turns 3 and 4. And look at this young kid go in the 21. Sam Mayer. Coming through the field, he has confidence. He said Marty Lindley has more trust and ability to what Sam's feedback is as the season has gone on. I'm telling you, this is beauty in motion here. Just one little slip by Brett Holmes was the difference.
The auto park it replay right here. And a textbook move with a little less contact this time for Sam Mayer, trying to move by the 23 of Brett Holmes. That moves the 21 into 3rd.
And Mayer's car is handling so well there. He could keep the car in the lower banking in turn 1. That made him go into the corner, not have to drift up. A lot of times the cars will wash up if the handling's not there. His car is handling perfectly right now. He's chased down Eckes in no time.
Michael Self might need the app for auto park it because he's parked in the infield right now as the championship leader. Man, he's got to be sweating inside that race car as he watches his buddy, his teammate at Venturini Motorsports in the 15, that JBL audio team for Christian Eckes.
Christian Eckes has to be really smart here. He can't be battling for position. He cannot be in the position where he's going to hold off Sam Mayer. Sam Mayer wants the spot. Eckes really needs to be playing it safe here.
So, Alex, I know you have been in the pit for the 15. What are they talking about at this stage of the game?
His crew chief's telling him just be smart. The way we're racing the second half of tonight's event is totally different than the way we took the green flag to get the thing underway. The reason being is that teammate in the championship battle, Michael Self, in the infield trying to get the suspension on the left front put back together. So they told the driver, Christian Eckes, get what you can get. Get as much as the car will give you, but don't do anything dumb with it. We're racing big picture, which means we have a great chance now to try to take over the championship point lead.
So here's the scene in our booth right now. Jim Trado has gotten his calculator out, and we know right now Christian Eckes runs second. Currently scored in the 15th spot is Michael Self, 5 points per position. Where are we at right now? Because they were 70 points apart coming into this race.
If they were to finish where they're running now, Michael Self in 15th, Christian Eckes running in second, that's a difference of 65 points. We have a 70-point difference heading into this race. Neither has led a lap, which is 5 more points. So why not Eckes push it if he can, or stay out under caution to lead a lap and then pit a lap later? All those scenarios play in to get those bonus points. They're only awarded to lead a lap, lead the most laps, win the pole, and there's 10 more points if you win the race. So there's a lot of factors playing into this. So Eckes, he has nothing to lose right now. He has a very fast car. As long as it stays underneath him, if he finishes second, he's only 5 points out with 2 to go. If he leads a lap, he's dead even with Michael Self if they run and Self's not able to improve from 15th at the finish.
A nice view from the Lucas Oil chopper of that battle starting to brew for second. Christian Eckes is in a good spot in terms of this championship battle, but he's got to be careful. I know his crew chief, Kevin Reed, if we get on another restart, is going to say, hey, go for it if you can, but just be careful.
Sam Mayer's trying to do everything he can. He knows he can pressure Eckes. Eckes might be less of a combatant to fight off the position. But in reality, Eckes is a really fast car right now. He's down underneath 19 seconds still. He's faster than Gibbs by a full 1/10 of a second that lap.
And listen, Christian Eckes came onto the scene a couple of years ago and really took the short track scene by storm. He won the Myrtle Beach 400, the Thanksgiving Classic in North Carolina at Kenley, and then he went on to win the Snowball Derby. And when he won the Snowball Derby, everybody stood up and took notice, including the folks from Toyota, and they have backed him. And now he's starting to have success in the NASCAR Truck Series as well. This kid, though, Ty Gibbs, in a couple of years, we expect to see him in the highest levels of NASCAR in that Truck Series or the Xfinity Series before he gets to battle in the Cup Series. It's almost inevitable for guys like Christian Eckes as well as Ty Gibbs. A little further back, these are two young hotshots as well. The 32 of Colby Howard. Howard currently runs in the 8th spot. Hocevar back on the lead lap, running in 9th.
And Hocevar is right in the middle of our Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge. I'm telling you, he's going to get some serious points made up here. He's in 4th right now, just 35 points out of the tie for second. And he's going to run all of them. He's going to run Lucas Oil Raceway. He's going to try to do a better run here than he did in the spring. He finished 3rd here in the spring. Very impressive young man. Just 2 crew guys working that car till the over-the-wall guys showed up today. They have really been impressive this year. Mike Bursley, Zach Dunston, and this driver Carson Hocevar doing what they can to compete with these big boys and these big teams.
Plenty of racing still to go here at Salem Speedway. Plenty of drama so far in the first half of this race. We're under 75 to go. The lights are on. The Nugenix top 5 reads Ty Gibbs leading Christian Eckes and Sam Mayer. But it's Christian Eckes who is taking charge here today in terms of the championship battle. Can he close in and possibly even pass his teammate for the point lead?
Keep your projects moving with Masterforce Flex Power brushless power tools. Masterforce's growing line of professional cordless tools gives you power, performance, and durability for whatever you're up against. Masterforce brushless motors give you up to 10 times longer motor life, 30% more power, and 1.5 times more runtime over standard power tools. The perfect solution for getting your projects from start to finish. Power, performance, and durability. Masterforce, available at Menards.
Give it up for the big hurt, Frank Thomas. Congratulations, Frank. Hey, Andy, Doug, you guys look great. Hey, I feel great too. Ever since you told me about Nugenix Total T, I feel stronger and I'm crushing my workouts.
Thanks to Nugenix, I got more energy, more stamina, feeling years younger. It's awesome. Nugenix Total T gets you back on top of your game.
From the brand that brought you GNC's #1 vitality product and product of the year, new Nugenix Total T is our most powerful man-boosting formula ever because it boosts your free testosterone and your total testosterone. To get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, text STRONG to 369-369.
I like the competitive edge Nugenix gives me. Hey, me too. Guys over 40, you need Nugenix Total T, and she'll like it too.
Text STRONG to 369-369 now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Samples are not available in stores, so text STRONG to 369-369 now.
Laps clicking away here in a long green flag run. The Nugenix top 5 with Ty Gibbs leading the way. But championship implications in this Nugenix top 5 with Christian Eckes second in points, third, and third place point man Brett Holmes fifth in this race here. Ty Gibbs so strong so far. But Alex Hayden, is there going to be some strategy lurking with Christian Eckes in that 15 team?
Well, the longer this stays under a long green flag run and as fast as the leader Ty Gibbs is, that means he's going to gobble up some of these cars on the tail end of the lead lap. So with a few cars left on the lead lap, if there's a caution flag and these lead lap cars come to pit road, I would look for Christian Eckes to stay out under caution, lead a lap, come to pit road the next time by if he only has to give up, say, 4, maybe 5 positions. So something to file away just in case.
And here's another thing to file away as well. Michael Self, 15th in the standings here in this race, has been listed as out on our official scoring. So let's take a look at the Auto Park It replay here. Sam Mayer having a very strong run in this one. And here he is battling with Christian Eckes. A hop, skip, and a jump for that 15 going into turn number 1. That was pretty scary for Christian Eckes, and he gives up the spot.
Sam had some really good position in turn 1. The car got a little tail happy, but he gave himself room. Made a really nice clean pass.
What's going on with that 21, Alex?
Sam Mayer's having a fantastic run. The only issue he's having tonight is starts and restarts. If you recall, he started second tonight, and the drop of the green flag, he fell back to 4th and was battling just to hang on there. The last couple of restarts, he also gave up 2-3 spots. So the inexperience for Sam Mayer is on the restarts. He's going to have that in his repertoire if we have one of those late in tonight's race. He knows he's got a fast race car.
Sam Mayer, very strong, finished second in here in the springtime, but that was an interesting shot there. On our screen, we see Michael Self scored as out with a big red line on it. But we still see that Venturini Motorsports team working on that 25 car. Here's what they are looking at, honestly. They are looking at right now, Tim Richmond is also scored out. If they can make up the laps on Tim Richmond, who sits 14th, that's valuable points. That's another 5 points. And then Mike Basham, he's 11 laps down. If Mike Basham goes out of the race, that's another spot possibly if they get back out into the racetrack that Michael Self can gobble up.
Yeah, maintain that pace and then hope to complete more laps than Michael to get 5 more points. Every position is 5 points regardless of the bonus status. Sam Mayer's in his 8th race this year in the Arca Menards series, and I really like the idea that he and Marty Lindy, who was so strong last year with MDM Motorsports, working with Zane Smith the year prior, going to a championship run at MDM in the K&N series. I like the idea that Sam Mayer surrounded himself with really good people. His spotter is Lauren Renier. This team is built very, very well for Sam Mayer. And this team, Michael Self, they're not done yet. This is a big blow, but I think they will have an answer come Lucas Oil Raceway on October 5th and our finale at Kansas.
It looks like they are ready to close the hood. Indeed, they are on that Sinclair machine. Let's go down to Alex.
Yeah, the hood's just about to go down. Michael Self left the window net up the entire time. Never took the helmet off, never took the gloves off. They're going to jack it up on the left side one more time just to make sure the shock is back in place, make sure the spring is back in place. Then they expect to put the car down, close the hood, and get him back out there and salvage whatever they can possibly salvage.
Well, Alex, we know that honestly, with Tim Richmond being out, if Michael Self is able to complete some laps, he will pick up at least 1 spot and move up from 15th to 14th. That's 5 points. Those 5 points could be very valuable in this championship quest. Ty Gibbs just put Colby Howard in the 32 a lap down. Colby Howard was running 8th. So just like you mentioned and Alex pointed out, man, you can get people a lap down in a hurry here. And now Eckes under fire for third. Eckes has Corey Heim right on his back bumper. And here comes Michael Self back out onto the racetrack. This is critical in the battle for the championship.
One question I had to Alex was, would they have changed tires before coming back out, knowing how critical those tires are? That's not an option right now. The crew members are still behind the wall. Change those tires, they lose more spots on pit road, more time. They can't afford to lose any of that, so they're coming back out on the tires they had on the car. We'll see as the scoring refreshes how many 66 laps unofficially down now is Michael Self to our race leader, Ty Gibbs.
And Tim Richmond right now is being scored in 14th, actually in front of him. 10 laps is the difference between Michael Self as well as Tim Richmond. So he basically has to go 11 laps around this racetrack, and he gets another 5 points.
Yeah, if he gets by him, I'm sure it's a big deal. It's a small victory. In the big picture, it makes a lot of sense to go back out and get those laps logged to get one more spot up on the rung in the finish order.
Less than 50 laps to go now here at Salem. And this championship equation might have been a little bit different for Christian Eckes had he raced this event in the springtime. He had food poisoning the morning of the race. Harrison Burton had to fill in for him. He actually tore a hole in his esophagus. He got so sick. Had to battle back from that. And now Eckes has a shot at the championship this year. Corey Heim running well. Joe Graf Jr. in that 77. He's in the top 10, and he's about to go a lap down as well. The Nugenics top 5. Ty Gibbs continues to lead over Sam Mayer.
We saved a lot of money when we got our kitchen from Menards. But we also like to save on the everyday essentials. Menards has all the brand names we rely on at the lowest prices. There's always a new project, always a new reason for a trip to Menards. Now it's where we go for everything. From paint to paper towels.
Save big on a 6-pack of Bounty Huge Rolls. Available at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
When it's time for a new water heater in your home, trust the water heater experts at Richmond. Richmond is an industry-leading manufacturer of water heaters that are reliable and efficient. Choose from high-quality natural gas and LP models, electric and electric hybrid heat pump water heaters, or whole-house tankless models that give you a continuous supply of hot water. You'll find a great selection of Richmond water heaters to meet your needs at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
From the track to the street, from your car to your fleet. Technology designed for you to get the most out of your vehicle by lowering harmful vehicle emissions and increasing engine efficiency. The Smart Emissions Reducer, field tested, lab approved, saving you money. The environment, keeping you on the move. Smart Emissions Reducer. Go green with the same machine.
Rated T for Teen.
The Arca Menards series is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. Men everywhere trust the man-boosting power of Nugenics Total T. Hers, forever good. And by Sioux Chief, America's manufacturer of plumbing, drainage, supply, and support products.
Implications for 3 different championships playing out tonight at Salem Speedway. The view from the Lucas Oil Chopper high above Salem Speedway as Ty Gibbs continues to lead. But the overall Arca Menards Series Championship, definitely a lot playing out right there. The Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge, as well as the CGS Imaging 4 Crown Championship, which will be decided here tonight. And right now, Michael Self back out on the racetrack. He's already picked up 1 spot and moved ahead of Tim Richmond. Michael Self now being scored in 14th.
And because of where he is now, you mentioned the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge, the championship within, this will become his throwaway race. No matter what happens, the short tracks he's been so good on, his hiccups have been on the bigger tracks, so no doubt when he goes to Lucas Oil Raceway on October 5th, Michael Self will have to run well there to try to have any chance to win the championship, because everybody gets to lop off their worst race. So that'll change things dramatically as we'll bring it to you live on MAV that evening. I like the idea that Self is back out here and he's got that 1 position back on Tim Richmond. Now he's got to make up a ton of laps on Mike Basham. Matter of fact, I don't think he'll have enough time, enough laps to get too many other cars. So he got 5 more points by getting back on the racetrack after fixing that lower A-arm issue.
So Michael Self, look at those sparks from Sam Mayer. His chassis appears to be hitting right there upon the entrance to turn number 1. But Michael Self is very quick. Actually, our director, Scotty McLemore, just pointed out, look at his lap times. Pretty darn quick around this racetrack. He's in the 17-second bracket, very similar to what Ty Gibbs and Sam Mayer are running first and second on the racetrack. And getting back to that whole Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge where you throw away your worst finish. Right now, he's being scored in 14th. If we look at all of our information in front of us, he had a 15th place run at Nashville. Remember, in that incident with Ty Gibbs and so forth in that race. So depending on what shakes out here, that could be his throwaway as well.
Yeah, that could lop off that one. I forgot about the Nashville race. It's such a quick season, really. And Ty Gibbs, he's been quick all night. Yet to lose a lap. And one more points championship we didn't throw in there. Owners Championship. The 18 team, the Coy Gibbs owned team, has been running every race. They've had 3 different drivers in their car. They've had some great success. They're 4th in the owners' points. So Ty Gibbs is not only racing for another trophy this year, already a winner at Gateway, but getting a chance to get back in victory lane and get some more owners' points. That could be a huge factor as well, as they sit 4th and maybe have a chance at 3rd in the owners' points, or even 2nd before season's end.
4th caution of the evening here comes under 30 laps to go, and there's Ed Pompa. The fans' favorite in terms of the throwback schemes here today. Ed in the number 11 was actually running 11th. A very good run for that Andy Hillenberg-owned team.
Yeah, one of his better runs at grass that's going to burn itself out. Just a little bit of fluid fuel probably from the exhaust pipe popping out on the grass to cause that little bit of fire. This car's been the attraction since we saw it on social media. When I was watching on Twitter and I saw the picture from that shop, I'm like, Andy Hillenberg's got something going on. He got DW's approval. This is an awesome paint job and well worth the Jack Harrison Trophy for winning the best throwback scheme tonight.
Let's take a look at the Auto Park It replay of what happened to Ed Pompa down there in the corner, and that was right in front of Ty Gibbs. Close call for the leader of this race in the 18.
And a good call by Brett Holmes to also move past as he just got lapped. So Brett Holmes will get the lucky dog. We'll see that driver, who is as high as 2nd tonight, get another crack at lead lap status when we go back to green flag racing.
Here's what's interesting. Just talking to Dave Foster, our producer, and we didn't even notice that 5th place running Brett Holmes is actually registered a lap down. He will get the free pass and be back on the lead lap.
Let's also give all the teams a chance to pit. Will Eckes stay out and assume that lead and get 5 more points? That'll almost negate the effort to this point and the psychological games they're playing. If he stays out and leads a lap, that's 5 more points that Michael Self's worked really hard to get 1 more position to, again, put that back to 0 on points gain for that 1 spot and 5 points to the good for Self.
You know the drivers are screaming, I need to come to pit road, I need tires, and the crew chiefs are trying to figure out, okay, should we come, should we not? It looks like just about everybody there coming down pit road. All 4 cars currently registered on the lead lap are on pit road.
Including Christian Eckes, who comes in that into the pit stalls. Eckes comes in. He'll forego the chance to get those 5 extra points for leading a lap.
Let's go down to Alex Hayden.
Right side work going on that JBL entry for Christian Eckes. Ty Gibbs, he's been the dominant driver. They're going to change right side general tires. It will be, in fact, a 4-tire change. All brand new tires that have been allotted all night long and now going to officially be used. Who wins the race off pit road? It's going to be Christian Eckes who's going to get out in front of Ty Gibbs.
A slow stop on the left rear. That left rear tire changer took just a little bit to get that left rear onto that number 18. Let's take a look at the Auto Park It replay of what happened to the 18. And you can see the left front tire changer was done, but the left rear just a little bit slower than the front of the car, and that allowed Christian Eckes to get by. That might have been the move of the race.
And just by leading this lap under caution, that's 5 more points to Christian Eckes for leading a lap. He's the only other leader in the race. He beat Ty Gibbs up pit road to get that spot. Huge to dictate from the front. It's also a 10-point bonus in addition to leading a lap to win the race over second spot. So this is huge for Eckes if he's able to pull this one off.
And we got to mention that now he's got the preferred line on the restart as well. That's very important. The Hertz Potato Chips 200 at Lucas Oil Raceway in Brownsburg, Indiana. You can watch it live on MAV TV on October 5th at 8 p.m. Boy, we can't wait to get back there. You and me, we were there last week for a super late model race, and that was a lot of fun. Can't wait to see the Arca Menards series there as well. Travis Braden on pit road. Braden currently running in 10th.
Yeah, get the Menards, get your discount tickets from Indianapolis is a great city. A lot of Menards stores to go shopping in, and the racing there is second to none. And Travis Braden, he has a chance again to improve his position overall and in the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge at a track he's won at, Lucas Oil Raceway. Braden did that back in 2015 in his debut.
There is Brett Holmes, third in the series standings coming into this race. He is back on the lead lap. He is actually going to be in the top 5. So Brett Holmes looking for a good run here tonight as well, and maybe he can close in a little bit in this championship equation as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a great restart because Ty Gibbs has not started on the inside all night. He's had the chance to dictate from the front, the chance to lead the race restarts. He had an awesome initial jump. How did he get that? He had to win the General Tire pole to get that opportunity. Christian Eckes and his team, give credit to Kevin Reed and all the scenarios going through their mind. Having a calm mind, having a really good team plan, having Britt Anderson, the spotter that Christian Eckes has had throughout his short track career back to his win of the Snowball Derby. That all comes to a factor of how to keep calm, how to strategize, how to play it out. And Kevin Reed, the right guy on the box, saying, we don't need those lap points. We want to win this race. Let's get our car in first to get out first.
And the Venturini Motorsports team, they bring in a pit crew from Excalibur Pit Team, and they crew their car. They had a great stop. It was the money stop possibly of this race, and it paid off for him. Now, can Christian Eckes stay up front? Travis Braden, man, he's been up and down all year. The last 4 races, though, no top 5 finishes for this team, but he's so talented, and they are looking forward to 2020 already. Let's go down to Alex Hayden.
Well, we're on top of the pit box with, right now, the race leading team right now. So Kevin Creed, crew chief here for Christian Eckes. Fantastic job getting the race lead in those 5 bonus points. What's the strategy here in this quick run?
Strategy is to be smart, try to win a race. I mean, Ty's been really good tonight. I feel like we've got a shot at it. We're just going to have to be smart racing with these guys. Obviously, it's a big points night for us, but at the same time, we'll worry about points at Kansas. So Michael had a rough night tonight, so we'll be a little bit even up, but all good with that. Just looking to get out of here with a good top 2 finish, and we've got Christian the lead. He done a heck of a job last night in Vegas. Showed up here, obviously had some bad luck here in the spring, but he's come back tonight and he's done a phenomenal job all day. I know he's tired with flying back on the red eye last night, but he's done a hell of a job.
They're the race leaders. They're going to dictate this restart. No, they're not going to walk out of here as champions of the Arca Menards Series, but a foolish mistake can cost them the chance to win a championship.
And then look down the road to Kansas. Michael Self has won there. Christian Eckes has never raced there because he's wasn't old enough to race there in an Arca Menards Series car.
But at Lucas Oil Raceway, where MAV TV will be next on October 5th, guess who was the defending winner of that race?
Yeah, Eckes really had a good car there.
Yes,
really
he
good
did.
car there.
Dominated that race last year. This will be an interesting restart. One of the most critical restarts of the entire year for Christian Eckes. Michael Self wondering what's going to go on here. Can his teammate win and further close the gap in the championship standings? Back to green here at Salem. Ty Gibbs has been so good on every restart, and it doesn't matter, I guess, if he's on the top or the bottom. Ty Gibbs grabs the lead, and I believe that Christian Eckes played it smart and safe right there.
Yeah, don't force the issue, don't force the issue. And really, if you think back to 2018, he and his teammate, Eckes, he and his teammate Chandler Smith left the field. They were top two. They were less than 2 car lengths apart for the last 50 laps of the race. And on the last lap, Chandler Smith blew a right front tire because they pushed it so hard. So that was a great move to just save a little bit, conserve just a little bit. If it cost them the victory, so be it. They got the 5 points to lead, and as crew chief Kevin Reed just said, a top 2 finish. So I think that team said, let's get you out there. Let's see what happens. If Ty wants to go, we really need to be smart on this final portion of the race, and we're closing it on 20 laps to go.
But Christian Eckes could lose a couple of spots here. Sam Mayer looks to be pretty quick, as does the 22 of Corey Heim. Heim looking to the inside, and Christian Eckes kind of cut him off a little bit.
That's experience here at this racetrack. Eckes has been here more than Heim and more than Sam Mayer. Getting low off of turn number 2 is a great way to thwart the effort that really takes almost a complete lap to complete a pass here. Drop off of turn number 2, pull even in turn 3, get to their side on the front straightaway, get into turn 1 and nudge them up the racetrack, which saw Sam Mayer do earlier in the race. Eckes able to hold position here momentarily on that black 22 of Corey Heim. He's racing the Sushi Short Track Challenge as well, so he's got a lot on the line to prove for that number 22 Chad Bryant Racing team.
Best finish of the year for Corey Heim, a third at DeCoin. If he's able to improve and get by Christian Eckes, it would be his best finish of the year in the runner-up spot if he finishes in that spot. So Corey Heim really wants to prove himself as well. He doesn't care about the championship battle.
They care enough, though. The team did. Chad Bryant Racing came here and tested just last week at this racetrack. The only team that I could find that would say, yes, we came here and tested again. A lot of teams came here in the spring to get their setups and get everything worked out before they raced here. But that team came back as crew chief Paul Andrews on number 22 said, we weren't fast enough. We need to gain more speed. So they came and tested for a full day last week, and they referred to their setups they went through in testing. So I think that's helping this young man in the strong run to the finish on older tires and using up what he has to under the lights here.
Another close call for Corey Heim and Christian Eckes off of turn number 2. And I believe Christian Eckes is calculated in the line that he is running right now. He'll dive to the bottom here, and what that will do is it will thwart the run on the inside from the 22 of Corey Heim.
I'm putting more words in my racing notebook. Calculated means I'm getting a little wide. Is that what it means as well? He's not giving a line. He's taking both.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do when everything is on the line. And Christian Eckes has a chance to gain on the championship standings, but the caution comes out once again for the 5th time here tonight with just 14 laps to go.
Debris in turn 4 is what we're being told. Denise Engel brings out the yellow rag and brings them to a slow pace. Once you got the debris turned away, now we're looking at a 10-lap sprint. If Eckes is too conservative on this restart, Bob, he might get himself looking at the infield real quick. These guys are coming.
Carson Hocevar,
as in he might get spun out.
In the 28, was right behind Ty Gibbs, the first car a lap down. We expect him to get the free pass here, the driver of the number 28. The safety team on the racetrack to pick up that debris. Ty Gibbs, Mark McFarland, the crew chief on the 18. What is he saying, Alex?
Let's find out. He's sitting here now. Your job is done for the evening, it appears. No more fresh tires down here, Mark, but how good is the race car, and can you guys pull this off?
It's been pretty good all night, really. The Toyota Monster Energy Camry has been really, really good. So we just got to have a good restart here and not spin the tires, and Ty's done a great job on restarts all night. So it really helps coming back to the tracks for the second time. Ty's learned a lot this year, so we're proud of him, proud of this team. We just want to finish it out. We've had a great day.
Good on these restarts you mentioned, but he now has the opportunity to choose inside lane or outside. Which one is he going to choose?
We've chosen outside all night, so I don't see why he would do anything different.
Mark McFarland, he's the crew chief for the race-leading team right now, and driver Ty Gibbs.
To Alex's point, though, he had to start on the inside of the last restart, and that gave him that track position. So if he can get to the jump, it's worth considering and questioning if they're going to do the inside. Will he still have that advantage? But I'm okay with the outside because he knows what he has. Because of the restarts, he was able to lead and dictate from on the starts.
And did you hear Mark McFarland's voice? We just got to finish it. Well, for 7 times. Okay, he does have that one win this year, but 7 times between Arca Menards Series as well as the NASCAR K&N E-Series, Ty Gibbs has finished second 7 times this year. Mark McFarland, that team, Joe Gibbs Racing, and that talented driver want another victory.
Ty's looking on the inside here to see how clean it is down there. We mentioned debris in turn number 4, so if there's any debris or if they did, I didn't see any oil dry put down, but they want to make sure this track is absolutely clean. You can see the patina That's what they call it when there's, the paint's kind of fading and it's not so new anymore. There's a lot of patina in this race surface here at Salem Speedway.
I've never heard that phrase in all my years, and I've been going to races since I've been in diapers.
You know those rod and custom guys that want to make it look like a rat rod that's from 80 years ago? They just kind of put the rust on the paint job or so the patina is getting to where it's going to be very important for these teams. This is Carson Osevar coming to pit road, Bob. He's had a long night. They've actually now come down, and this is putting right sides back on that were on the car already. Now I take that back. Maybe they saved their 4. No, it looks like they're used up tires. So Osevar just trying to finish this one and gain those points in the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge.
And this team racing with a heavy heart. That paint scheme very special to Arca, to this team in particular.
Bruce Vanderlaan was a racer in Michigan who lost his life, passed away from an illness this past weekend. And he meant so much to the people at Berlin Raceway, and especially Johnny Benson Jr., who's been such a critical mentor for Carson Osevar. Carson, at just 16 years of age, relied upon Johnny. Johnny's the first one to put him in an outlaw late model age 12. But Bruce Vanderlaan was kind of one of Johnny's heroes when he was going through and racing at Berlin Raceway as a second-generation guy at his home track. So seeing Bruce race as I did back in the Arca days and racing in Michigan, his loss has been felt throughout the racing community. So Mike Bursley, the team owner, said, let's do something cool for what we can say is our tribute to Bruce Vanderlaan, who, again, meant a lot to the short track community in Michigan and has a lot of friends around the country. But Mike said, you know what, we don't have really a throwback in the 28 scheme, but we're going to do something for Bruce.
Arca Throwback Night at Salem Speedway. How fitting. 106 Arca races here at Salem Speedway. And this is my favorite, honestly, paying tribute to Bill Venturini, Venturini Motorsports. And this was the paint scheme. I believe it was 1987 that Bill used this paint scheme in Arca and did such a masterful job with that. We saw a great picture earlier on in our program of his number 25 car, Bill Venturini, at Rockford Speedway in Illinois back in the day.
This was a championship-winning paint scheme, 1987. It said Amica Ultimate on the quarter panel. Now it says JBL Audio with the big headphones hanging off it. Could this be the championship paint scheme for 2019?
They might want to run it at Lucas Oil Raceway and Kansas Speedway.
Kansas, and put it at the banquet, and maybe on the T-shirts. Oh, man, they're getting way behind it. The team came out fully dressed in the Billy Venturini logos. They've got the logo on the C-pillar, the B and the V, and Kathy found an old crew uniform. She was on the all-female pit crew that Billy had, Big Bill, when they won the championship in 1991.
Lucas Oil Chopper getting us a shot as we're about set to go green once again. But how big is this particular restart with Christian Eckes now running on the inside and a couple of hungry drivers in that next row just behind him?
If he's going to concede the lead, Bob, he has to get up top right quick. And Sam Mayer's not going to let him do that. So it's about getting a clean launch. We saw Sam Mayer struggle on 2 restarts tonight specifically, at the initial outset and the most recent on the inside. So you see Christian now wiggling back and forth, trying to get everything off of those tires, get some heat built up in those general tires for this critical restart. You said critical for the season last time. If he messes up here, he might have like 4 or 5 cars right on top of him going to turn 1.
Brett Holmes, third in the point standings, runs 6th on this restart. Christian Eckes come up on the straightaway. He's going to do it. A great restart with championship implications for Christian Eckes. Ty Gibbs still leads.
Sam Mayer looked like he got a little high in turn number 2. Perhaps it was Eckes moving him up just a little bit. It didn't want to make contact. At this point in the race, Sam Mayer wants the great finish as well. Speaking of that contact made between these two teenagers.
That was like a body check up there in the corner from the 22 of Corey Hines to the 21 of Sam Mayer. More contact off of 4.
Wiggling because Sanders can't break free of the contact from the 22 car.
That appeared to me to be a little bump and run right there from Corey Hines to Sam Mayer. Moved him out of the way in turn number 1. So he picks up a spot, but Sam Mayer loses 2 positions on the racetrack. Let's take a look at the Auto Park It replay of that battle in the corner.
This is not the first time they touched in this lap. We see Heim trying to move up the racetrack. You see him sawing at the wheel, trying to get position. It may have been he wanted to get behind Sam Mayer, but was so good of a run off of 3 and 4. He connected there. We also see debris now, a little bit of actually bodywork hanging out the left rear of the number 21. That could be an issue if he gets side by side with another car before this one's over.
5 to go now. Brett Holmes in the 23 has moved up to 4th. Sam Mayer with that body damage to the left rear quarter panel running just behind him.
Lap down is Chandler Smith behind this duo. Battle for top 5 finish here. And Mayer, I think, just has to make his laps run here. You see the damage in the left rear. He also got moved up out of the groove twice by Corey Himes' aggressive moves there. I don't know if he's got something for Holmes here in these last few laps.
Look at the gap right now from Ty Gibbs to second place running Christian Eckes. More than a second and a half. Christian Eckes, though, I'm sure, is looking out his rearview mirror, trying to hold on to second. Corey Himes says, buddy, I'm coming after second. I want my best career Arca finish.
Oh, you know, Lloyd Gardner, the spotter on the 22, is saying, if you want to get hungry, let's stay hungry. Let's get the 15. Let's get 5 more points for our team. 1 more position. He finished third in the most recent races, his best run. Trying to get to the back of that second place car of Eckes and get 5 more points.
This time by, white flag will be in the air. Christian Eckes doing all that he can. There is that white flag for Ty Gibbs. Some slower cars to the inside that will honestly help Christian Eckes. Eckes able to keep Corey Himes at bay, and he gets a great run up off the corner. Ty Gibbs is able to slay Salem Speedway on throwback night for the Arca Menards Series, and Christian Eckes closes the gap in the championship battle.
What a run by Ty Gibbs. Led the race to the green flag from the General Tire pole. Awesome on restarts. His crew chief sounded very confident and calm. It's amazing how calm this kid can be on the radio and how he gives feedback at his tender age. 16-year-old Ty Gibbs has won his second Arca Menards Series race of 2019.
Impressive run for that teenager, the grandson of Joe Gibbs. Joe was at Gateway when his grandson won. We haven't seen Joe Gibbs here tonight, but I'm sure he is watching. Congratulations to everybody at Joe Gibbs Racing. This kid certainly has plenty of talent, and he's showing it here in the Arca Menards Series. Donuts on the front stretch here at Salem Speedway. Ty Gibbs, the winner of the Fall Classic 200.
For more than half a century, Sioux Chief has been the name to know for quality American-made rough plumbing products. It's the choice of contractors with stylish and innovative shower drains, bracketing systems, and a full line of supply fittings. Sioux Chief expansion grip systems provide solid connections. Protect your ice maker, dishwasher, toilet, or washing machine from harmful water hammer by installing a Sioux Chief mini rester that's guaranteed for the lifetime of your home's plumbing. Sioux Chief is your plumbing solution. Available at your nearest Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
You can't fake greatness. Not on the track and not in the chip aisle. Like a seasoned driver behind the wheel, Hers chips take you from caution flag levels of hunger to checkered flag feelings of satisfaction. When it comes to race day snacks, the signature crunch and endless flavors of Hers leaves the competition in a pile of chip dust. Don't settle for anything less than the champions of the chip aisle. Hers, forever good. Available at Menards.
Rated T for teen.
Forge of Empires. Develop your own city from the Stone Age to the future. Available in the App Store and at FOE.tv. Forge of Empires. Play now.
Welcome back to Salem Speedway in southern Indiana. The Arca Fall Classic 200 is now complete, and Ty Gibbs is the winner. The 16-year-old able to climb out victorious here. He conquered the high banks of Salem Speedway, something that not many people have been able to do. Let's go to Alex Hayden.
He did a heck of a burnout down here too, guys, and now it's time to pop an ice cold beverage on a cool, crisp night here in Salem, Indiana. Congratulations, a dominating win tonight.
Thank you so much.
So give us an idea. How good was this race car throughout the running of this 200 laps?
That was probably one of the easiest races I've ever done. The car is so good that I hardly drove. It drove me, so it was good. I had a fun time, which is all that matters. The guys did a really good job on the pit stops. Came up first every time. Actually, we have one not good one, but all the other ones were really good. So, I'm just so excited. I don't know what to do right now. But that was easy, not surprising. So.
A lot of restarts you had to go through as well. Sometimes as the leader with leader's choice on the lane, sometimes not so much there. What was the key to the restarts tonight?
It was the top line was super good, but our car was so good I could run the bottom, and I passed Christian there, and it was pretty easy. So I would just like to thank Monster Energy. Everything they do for me, let me live my dream. It's great, and just everybody, Rye, Alpine Stars, Oakley, everybody that just lets me be able to come here and race. My grandpa, my dad, my mom, my family back home. So thank you.
Congratulations. That's win number 2 of this young man's career here in the Arca Menards Series. Ty Gibbs takes the checkers.
And I am impressed with how calm, cool, and collected he was in that victory lane interview. Christian Eckes, second here. That is big for him because Michael Self is not found in this top 10 right here. Michael Self led Christian Eckes by 70 points coming into this race. Brett Holmes, a great top 5 run for him, and that will have implications for him as well. Sam Mayer, he faded back to 5th after that contact with Corey Hine.
Yeah, Carson Hocevar, we see rebounded to finish 7th, and there he is, 14th in the rundown. Michael Self had a left front suspension issue behind the wall for so many laps. Came back out, was able to make up at least 2 positions. He was 16th when he came back on the racetrack, so ended up 14th. A small victory for the team that did not have the best night tonight.
When we come back, we are going to crown the CGS Imaging 4-crown champion here at Salem Speedway, and I think you might be a little bit surprised. We'll be right back.
Keep your projects moving with Masterforce Flex Power brushless power tools. Masterforce's growing line of professional cordless tools gives you power, performance, and durability for whatever you're up against. Masterforce brushless motors give you up to 10 times longer motor life, 30% more power, and 1.5 times more runtime over standard power tools. The perfect solution for getting your projects from start to finish.